The KSL Sports Zone of Beehive Meals are honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at KSLSports.com/contest and listen every Thursday afternoon to Jake and Ben for the winner. It's the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. Question of the morning. How long do you think Kalani Sitake stays at BYU? Already done a decade, PK. That's a pretty long run in college sports. On the other hand, if he wants to be the Polynesian Lavelle Edwards, he's 19 years away. Got a couple more decades to put in here. Obviously, it's been in the headlines here. Tony says, I have to believe he has more money than he can spend. I think legacy matters to him. If the athletic department can keep him happy, he'll be revered as much or more than Lavelle Edwards. He's staying as long as he wants.
Yeah, that's pretty much what every fan base thinks if their coach is winning. Mm-hmm. There were people who thought Urban was going to stay. Mm-hmm. And he'll never leave and that type of thing. So that the fans tend to think that. But
that last phrase that Tony published here on Facebook, he's staying as long as he wants. Yeah, and what if he wants is like 3-4 months from now?
Right.
I believe everything you said, Tony, including the last sentence. He's staying as long as he wants, and there's no guarantee how long he wants.
Well, you have to see what's available. I mean, just look at December, and talking to Riley Jensen yesterday, and he's a good friend of Jay Hill. Got Jay Hill on the show while you were gone a couple weeks back, and in the beginning of the month, he thought there was a good chance that he was going to be the BYU head coach, and the end of the month comes, and he's the defensive coordinator at Michigan. I mean, you talk about...
You never know.
In a span of 3 weeks.
Right.
That is crazy.
It is, and yet that's college sports today.
Right. You have to strike, and obviously he has a long-standing relationship with Kyle, and Kyle wanted him, and it was an unbelievable opportunity, and he took it. We understand all that. And so what's to be available? And it just doesn't have to be, well, somebody is not doing the job. Lincoln Riley's under the spotlight. He hasn't won the level that SC wants, or that expected to, with the big fat contract and the $17 million house that they have, that he has in Palos Verdes Estates overlooking Catalina on a clear day, right? $17 million. And
awesome.
Yeah, right.
I dare you to go up there and find something to complain about. Yeah. I guess you could say, well, it's up on the hill. It's a long way down to the beach and the surf and PV with, mostly rocky cliffs.
Yeah. Well,
I guess they found something to complain about there.
3 or 4 miles tops to where you want to get in the water, if that's what you want. And plus, there's a surf area there that has been under dispute for years, because if you're not from there and you go there, they rough you up. And that has been ongoing for many, many years.
Locals only.
Yeah, and so, but that doesn't mean that he has to have a bad season. He can have a great season, and the fill-in-the-blank NFL team can come. Right, that's a possibility too. Everybody's looking, if he doesn't go in the playoff, he's going to be under the. Well, he can go to the playoff and actually win the whole thing and still be gone. You just don't know what's going to be out there, and that could be anybody. Can happen. Lanning over there in Oregon, up the coast a little bit. Mm-hmm. It could be him. You can go down the list of coaches, and everyone's searching for a great coach. If you don't have one, right? And who knows what could happen. So it's impossible to say, and that is the point. Yeah, most likely he has some stature where if he wanted to be there the next 3 to 5 years, he absolutely could be. But who knows? I mean, he clearly has frustration. There's just no doubt about it. And I've spoken to enough people to know and you go read what I wrote at KSL.com to I think I said, put it in a synopsis pretty good from Kalani's perspective. And here we are, and these are real issues. And the statement that he made when we were there in December, I want to win, but I want to win, which means I want to win it all. And with that in mind, if I don't think it can be done here, then I'm going to go someplace else, even though that spot is really good. Lane Kiffin could have had a statue at Ole Miss. right? There's no doubt about it. But why did he take it? Because he thought LSU's a better job.
The odds of winning it all at LSU are much better than the odds of winning it all at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
LSU's done it. Ole Miss hasn't. LSU's done it multiple times.
But he could have been the ultimate football coach at LSU or at Ole Miss, and he would have been richly compensated and blah, 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 blah. But he chose to leave because on paper it looks like LSU is a better program, right? So he left. Well, that could be the same thing here.
Zachary, if they have another season like the one they had last year, someone will back up the Brinks truck for him, and he'll have to decide if Ryan Smith's money is enough to keep BYU competitive long term, or if he wants to chase a title with a Big Ten team.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it all on Ryan Smith. I mean, it's an easy because he's the most identifiable booster, and he's rich beyond his wildest dreams, I'm sure. But I think it's more than that.
And you more than think it.
Yeah.
You believe it and know it. And I do think that the whole crumble cookie thing helped shift some of the spotlight off Ryan. I mean, obviously Ryan's very wealthy and he's high profile and he's public facing, and so people know his face and his name. But now people are starting to see some of the other faces and names.
Kevin Young talked about that when he flies out of Salt Lake and drives back to Utah County. He said he passes his 10 multimillionaire entrepreneurs. Right, and so, and they're there. I can name you other names that wouldn't mean much to the public, but they're out there. So, yeah, with that in mind, and crumbles there. I had a crumble cookie in downtown Chicago a couple weeks back. I split it with my wife. I want to be healthy here.
Nice.
Got
to be light on your feet chasing a foul ball at Wrigley?
We were doing a lot of walking that day.
Okay.
So... there are others out there. And, yeah, what's it going to be? What's it going to be with his next offer, which I believe will come? He's only 50 years old. He'll turn 51 in October. So he's got 15 years minimum if he wants. And he's such a just a warm person. And remembers names and is just he is the true people person, and people like being around him because he makes you feel good. He makes you feel like, wow, you're important to him, and it doesn't matter who it is. And it's so natural. It's not phony. Riley, we were talking yesterday, and he brought up the big thing about Sarkisian. He really came down hard on Sarkisian. I don't know if you heard that while you were gone. And his big thing was authenticity, authentic. You've got to be authentic, right? And we had on Eric Kerr, who Riley knows and has known for many years, and he's going to be he's the Weber State coach, and they kick off here in a couple of weeks over in northern Colorado on Friday. And I was teasing him, I saw him at Corner Canyon, and he was like a god there, man. I mean, he owned the place.
You've told me stories about going to basketball games there, and he would come over because your wife was on the staff in the athletic department as a PE teacher and coaching, assistant coach for girls golf. And so obviously they knew each other and,
and we
interacted.
Support the teams.
Yeah, and you were telling me stories about the way people came up, whether kids or parents, or in the way people talked to them. Right. You were almost like, oh, in the background.
And I would sit next to him, and we would just yuck it up a little bit. And so I said, now it's going to be different because you had the 15 and 16-year-olds mesmerized. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to get 20, 21, 22. And he said, well, you got to be authentic. And Riley shot me a look. See, I know what I'm talking about. and where I'm going with this is that I don't know that I've ever met a more authentic person than Kalani Sitake. Certainly in the coaching world, and I've met several, but he's authentic as they come. And that is important. So if he has another good season, absolutely they're going to be, if there's opportunities, they're going to come his way. Because he's had multiple opportunities, so why wouldn't he? And then he has to decide. BYU has to decide what they want to do. Do they really, really want to go in and win? When I say at all costs, I'm not talking about reducing or changing the moral implications of the honor code and all that. I'm literally talking financially. When I say at all costs, they're not going to strip away the foundation and the connection with the Latter-day Saint Church. It's never going to happen. We all respect it. Great. But I'm speaking specifically money. Are they going to be in it at all costs? Because the costs are constantly rising. And is that something they want to do, or they want to say, hey, we've got enough to be competitive, now it's up to you? Well, that's not going to be good enough for some people, and maybe it's not good for Kalani. Apparently it isn't good right now.
So the question then is the bar set at the top of college football at $40 million, at $50 million, at $60 million, at $70 million? It's changing all the time. It's a moving target. That discussion changes every year. And then what is BYU's number in relation to that?
Right.
Kalani does have an emotional tie. If the top number is 50, and if he's getting 45, he'll probably come back to a meeting and say we need $5 million more. But I don't think he's leaving over that. Now, if the bar is $40 million and they're at 15, you're at risk of losing him. And I just think you are.
Fair.
And then those numbers, and I find this very hard to cover and frustrating, because talking to people about this, which I think all of us have been since, this stuff started coming out about a week ago, people will quote you numbers and they're not quoting the same numbers. Some people quote by percentage. Some people quote last year's numbers. Some people are quoting this year's numbers. I thought you brought up an excellent point, because I wondered how much of this is Kalani worrying about money for 2027. And you're like, why don't you think he's worried about money for 2028? He's talking to juniors now. And we've heard the stories, is it the first or the second or the third conversation when the parents bring up money? It's coming. And they don't like it when it's the first thing, but they know it's coming. And maybe some people do hold off until the second or third or fourth conversation.
Everyone's turned off if it is the first and foremost 90% priority.
Right.
And BYU's had that, and they've
moved on.
Yeah.
Moved on to other kids.
I can name names.
Yeah. Don't prioritize this guy. Let's go prioritize somebody else.
Right.
And so you're right. I mean, Kalani is looking at this through, hey, what is it costing in 2027, 2028, and 2029? And they're starting to have those conversations with kids, sophomores and juniors. I mean, we always hear about the 8th grader who's been offered, usually by a school who can't land them, who wants to get their name out there. That's the way that game tends to be played. So he's looking at all those things, and what is he thinking? When I was just getting started in radio, a bunch of us did college radio together at UC Santa Barbara, and then several of us, one kid was older.
You can drop Jim Rome's name. Go ahead.
No, this isn't a Jim Rome story. It's Dan Kerman, Jamie Riddell, if you
But
must
you got
know.
a relationship, so it's legit. You're authentic.
I know. I am, but in this case, it wasn't Jim. Jim wasn't at the station yet when this happened, although he came through the same station. He left and worked for his dad's business before he got back into radio. And so Dan, who was a year older and had been at KTMS earlier, we had, as we were talking yesterday, we had crazy managers and owners, but we were protected by the news director, who was awesome. And he was already turning into Mr. Santa Barbara, and he was in his late 20s. He acted like he was in his late 30s. He was so mature, and he had so much vision about the way the business worked. He was amazing. And so he would go to lunch, and sometimes he's chasing a story, and sometimes he's meeting a friend. He's working splits mornings and afternoons, so if he's gone for a long lunch, it doesn't matter. He's still putting in a 10-hour day. His name was John Palmentary. And John would come back, and Dan was always freaking out about whether John was meeting with somebody from TV to jump to the only TV station in town, KYT. And he would always pester John. And finally, one day, John had enough, and he looked at him and goes, Dan, I could be here 5 years. I could be here 5 minutes. You're going to have to learn to live with that. We thought that was hilarious. Jamie and I thought that was hilarious. Some other people on the staff who heard it thought it was hilarious. We all repeated it to the people who weren't there. Everybody was laughing. And then we gave Dan a hard time. It's like, Dan, you're looking for a TV job too. They're not paying a lot of money in Radio Market 170. Nobody thinks this is a career. No, there isn't one person who thinks you can live in this job for the next 40 years. We're all looking. We have to. And sure enough, it was like a year later, John left. And I have used that line so many times. It's so true. And you have to change the numbers. I could be here 30 years. People talk to us about being older. And I'm like, well, you plan for retirement and you plan what you want to do. But let's be honest. We've all gone to funerals for people and like, you didn't know it was coming. And it's shocking when it happens. And then you got to go to a funeral for somebody. And you're like, we could all be here 30 years. We could be here 30 minutes. You got relatives, take your age plus 30. You could be here 30 years. You could be here 30 minutes. And I think that's the thing for Kalani right now. I just don't have a good feel for this. I go back to John Palmentary and Dan Kerman and think, Kalani could be here 12 weeks. He could be here 12 years. Don't know.
You don't. There's just no way. Especially in that world where things happen and happen quickly. When we used Lincoln Riley as the example, well, when he took the SC job, all of us were surprised because we thought, wow, Oklahoma, I mean, that's a hotbed right there, you know, and they've had a long history of great football. Yeah. And so it was a surprise.
He was barely getting started when he was there. It's like 4 or 5 years.
And he's a younger dude.
Yeah.
And he could have built a Switzer-like legacy without the shenanigans. And he chose to take off, right? And that's why they hate him over there. So you got that going on too. So you really never know. And Kalani could be here for 20 years. Yeah. I mean, I hope he is, because I'll make this announcement right now. I plan to keep this job for another 20 years.
You could be here 20 years. You could be here 20 minutes.
2046, huh? Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah. How do you think I work out every day?
Yes, we know you hit the bench every day. We get it.
I don't do bench every day.
You tell us that.
Well, I know, but the health club asked me not to.
Enough showing off. Got it.
All the people gawking and can move around.
Too much traffic.
Well, that would give you like 15 years to see if the Utah Outlaws can win a World Series.
Oh, yeah, man. If I'm still working and they announce it, I got to go a couple more.
You got to, man. We got to go out to the ballpark.
Right.
Some random Monday night, and the Padres or Diamondbacks are coming to town. Let's go to a game.
The only thing that could change that, if it happens, and I hope it does, that if they gave me like a lifetime press pass. So I'm retired, but I still can get in and hang out in the
for
press
your
box.
Incredible contribution to the sports media.
Yeah.
Here's
Steve Starks is your path to that. Right. That's your path. We've known Steve a long time.
Now, I have friends who have lifetime ball passes to all ballparks.
That's because if you're a beat writer, how many years do you have to do it? Is it 20?
I think it's 10.
10? Okay.
And you have Hall of Fame credentials.
10 years as a beat writer. Get a lifetime pass.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And I have some people, I know people well who have that.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Darnell Dixon, the Daily Herald at 9 o'clock. It's a Win Tickets Wednesday. We'll give those tickets away. You want to do it after the break, Yak? All right, on the other side of the break, Win Tickets Wednesday. Concert tickets will send you out to Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. Motley Crue coming to town. Stay with us. We'll do that next.